If we run out of ammunition, we'll use a shovel again. And then we'll move on.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out more international military adverts. Now, I think this is a 5th episode, but man, I gotta say, I'm really loving doing these videos because it's cool to check out all these different militaries and how they actually do their recruitment videos. Now, I didn't think that they would be so different. I kind of expected one military recruitment video to be pretty much the same as another, but so far what we've seen is they're all pretty different, and so far we haven't seen any that are really too similar. And again, it's cool to see the different approaches that they have. Some make it a little bit extreme as far as like the Royal Marines, just making it super badass, super scary, super intimidating. But then we also had like the Indian Army adverts, which are pretty funny, but also like pretty cool, pretty well thought out. And then you have some that just take like a more serious historical approach, like the Marine Corps adverts. So it's really cool to see the different ones. Now, we checked out adverts from the U.S. Marine Corps and then a bunch from the Royal Marines. So today we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to be checking out an advert from the Royal Navy, and then we're also going to be doing one from the Netherlands Ministry of Defense. And then we also have a cool one. It's from the Ukrainian military, but it's more specifically tailored to the Ukrainian Infantry. And then we also have, you know, like a kind of a funny one at the end, which hopefully I don't get copyright claimed for, but I guess we'll have to see. So today we're starting off with the Made in the Royal Navy, and this one's called Ben's Story. So I know you guys are saying the Royal Navy adverts are a little bit better than the British Army adverts. And I don't know, I didn't really check out a whole lot of the British Army adverts, but we'll check out the Royal Navy advert for now and see how they do this one. But it looks pretty cool. Again, it looks like we're seeing an approach of them starting off showing a kid and then sort of just getting the idea of going into the military. So let's check this one out. It should be cool.
Said my first word at 1. Kicked off the stabilizers at 4. United mad by 7.
Hold on, what? You guys call them stabilizers? Because we just call them training wheels for like our bikes. So you guys call them stabilizers? I don't know if that's just him saying that because it sounds funny, but stabilizer sounds way more badass than training wheels.
Bored at 11. First black eye girlfriend at 14. I left school at 16.
Better than me.
Broke my arm, broke the bank. 18, about nights in the castle. But then I stopped.
Wait, he said what? Did he say rob a bank?
Broke my arm, broke the bank. 18, about nights in the castle.
Never mind.
But then I stopped pulling pints and started pushing myself.
Oh yeah.
I upped my game, made a leap. I learned to think on my feet and off them. I put my life in the hands of others and held their lives in mine. I left home, I wrote home, I found a new home. I did things I never dreamed I would, and overcame things I never thought I could. The elements, the distance, the fears, doubts, and all 7 continents.
Dude, this is badass.
Sure, I was born in Carlisle, but I was made in the Royal Navy. Start your journey. Search Made in the Royal Navy.
Hell yeah, I like that one. That one was really sick. That one was badass, but it was badass for a different reason. I don't know, there's just something cool about showing like an ordinary guy just turning into like a badass over like a 1-minute video. And the footage, I gotta say, was really solid, so that does help. So let's go through this again real quick. So again, it's starting off him young with the stabilizers and whatnot. I don't know what was going on here, but okay. So he's growing up, again, pretty cool. So you can see he's just kind of like going down the wrong path, but then he redirected, which is like a really cool thing. And it's not something that I can really relate to myself because I just always wanted to join the Marine Corps. But I know a lot of people who did that, who redirected themselves. And again, it's cool how he's going from that person to someone who's just doing things and helping other people, like really selfless. So I do appreciate it. And it's just cool to see like all the places he's been and all the stuff that he's experienced in this short video. So this is a really cool one and a really powerful one for sure, especially when you're talking about like just recruitment and just showing this adventure and showing someone transform. This is a really good way of doing it. So, and I do have a Royal Navy flag because one of y'all actually sent it to me. So I do appreciate you guys doing that. It makes me feel a little bit closer to these videos whenever I can, you know, see the flag down there and whatnot. But okay, that was a cool one. Again, different approach from what we've seen with other ones, but a really solid one. Now we're checking out one from the Netherlands Ministry of Defense. Now let me see exactly what this is advertising in the title. Okay, so it looks like it's just saying that the Ministry of Defense has been a thing for about 75 years. and they'll continue to do that. So, okay, I like that title. Let's see what they got.
Vrijheid. We mogen het al 75 jaar lang vieren.
Such a cool language.
Dat doen we nog wel een keer.
Nu nog even niet. We weten namelijk uit ervaring.
Vrijheid stelt morgen nieuwe eisen.
Hell yeah.
Dan moeten we weer klaarstaan.
Meer
hell
bescherming
yeah.
voor minderheden.
Meer vrouwenrechten.
Meer vrijheid van meningsuiting. Zo strijden we elke dag opnieuw
Voor vrede.
voor internationaal recht.
Voor het vrije woord.
Voor hem.
Voor
Okay.
haar. We bewaken.
Werpen barricades
I like
op,
this
bevrijden
approach.
Beschermen en bouwen op. Vanaf de grond
vanuit de lucht
en de allerdonkerste diepte. Met toewijding.
met logica.
Met
Oh,
bevlogenheid.
snap,
met
dude.
gevoel.
Met
Some
gevaar.
sick
voor
shots
eigen
here.
leven. Soms wel met 1960 kilometer per uur.
Okay, so we're seeing a very different approach, and this is cool. They're sort of going like to an outward approach as far as how the Ministry of Defense has helped other people and why they actually do that. So it's kind of cool, and also mixed in with the really badass shots really makes for a pretty cool message.
Hoor je dat? Dat is onze strijdkreet.
75
Waar we
years though, that's
75 jaar voor hebben gevochten.
not as much as I
Staat
thought.
elke dag onder druk. Waar vrijheid verstilt, worden wij haar stem. Tegengeluid voor tirannen. Tegenwicht voor tranen.
Einde aan lijden en onrecht. Begin van hoop en onderwijs.
Really sick footage.
Onverzettelijkheid is niet oneindig. Helden zijn ook maar van mensen gemaakt.
Ons werk gaat daarom over trots, kameraadschap,
Yeah, yeah.
Moed, toewijding.
overwinningen, maar ook over verlies.
In een wereld waar de vrijheid wordt bedreigd
Het water stijgt
of het vuur wild om zich heen grijpt, wat het gevecht ook is.
tegen welke vijand dan ook.
This is a
Zet
serious
wij ons
message.
samen in. Met een rotsvast vertrouwen kijken we vooruit. 75 jaar vechten voor vrede heeft ons geleerd dat de toekomst altijd heelt wat het verleden heeft
I love the
geprobeerd
old
te
school
verwoesten.
footage, man. That really helps.
Al 75 jaar beschermt Defensie wat ons dierbaar is.
Dat blijven we doen.
So sick, dude. This is a longer advert, but honestly, it flew by like really quickly. So 75 years, huh? Again, that's not as long as I thought, and that's not a bad thing. That's because I see the Ministry of Defense and I see the Dutch military, and they seem like they have a pretty good understanding of why they do it and a pretty good understanding of what is at stake and what they really need to be focusing on. And I think the Netherlands does a good job of, you know, being pretty open-minded as far as what they need to focus their efforts on. And this is a really good recruitment advert as far as showcasing all of that, but also keeping a really solid message as far as putting in that historical context and also just showing like the current stuff that's going on with them as far as what they're doing, you know, in the Middle East and talking about the loss that they've experienced. So really powerful stuff. And again, this is, you know, a little over 2 minutes, so it is a little bit longer, but again, it flew by just because of how like powerful and how drawn I was to everything. So again, it shows like the open-mindedness. It shows like them being serious, going, getting stuff done. And again, I really love the historical context that they put into these videos because it really does just draw everything together. And if you have relatives that were in the, you know, the Ministry of Defense or the military, you know, previously, it would really help, you know, relate that to you, especially from a recruitment standpoint. That really helps. But yeah, some really cool shots. Again, they're really not messing about with this. They're not trying to make it dramatic as far as like, you know, over dramatizing it. They keep it very real, and they let you know what the military is about as far as trying to make it like super dramatic or like Hollywood-esque. So again, we see a lot of like suffering put into this video. And some people might think that that's kind of like a weird approach to have like all this suffering and all this sadness in this recruitment video. But I gotta say, it makes it so much more powerful. For someone who's really considering going to the military and understanding why they're trying to go into the military and do what they're doing, that is like one of the biggest things right there. Like for me, like my comfort means nothing if I can, you know, provide someone else with a little bit more comforts. And I think that's just a great way of putting it, showing all the suffering that other people are going through while you yourself might not be going through as much. And it's just cool to be able to go into something that allows you to make things a little bit easier for certain people. So again, really solid stuff. Really cool shots on top of that, but a really solid message. And yeah, I gotta say, I'm not an emotional person, but that was that one really got to me as far as just me being able to relate to it and understanding the message. So really good props to you guys for doing that awesome one. Again, very different from what we've seen already, but I'm liking the approach. So this one is from the Ukrainian Infantry. Now, this one I can imagine can be pretty serious just from what was going on with the, Crimea and everything. So I don't know how recent this one is. Looks like it's from 2016. So I imagine it's going to be pretty serious. And this is a little bit under 2 minutes. So it's probably going to be able to, dive into a deeper meaning, a deeper message. So let's check it out.
There are many simple things in the world. Shovels. They are all different.
Okay.
Gardening shovel. Unloading shovel. Children's shovel.
Yeah.
But there's also a different shovel.
Oh, snap.
We use it when we come to the position.
Right.
In short time, it helps us dig a trench which saves us from bullets.
Huh. Dang, they're really getting to
If a tank will
work.
pass over the trench, there is a high probability that it will not cause any harm to the soldier.
Well,
We
they're
dig
really
in the
not.
ground,
They're
deeper,
really not messing
and then you
about.
connect the trenches with our friends to the left.
Huh.
In just a few hours, trenches are all connected. When we do not have an axe, we can use a shovel to cut a loaf of bread.
Okay, this is a really, really interesting approach. Now, we've seen like people growing up and just sort of like getting exposed to the military through something, and you can sort of see their journey. But this is kind of similar, but also super different as far as comparing such like an item that you might see every day. There'll be a blizzard and you have to use a snow shovel to, clear your driveway out or something. And you didn't really think anything about it. Or you have a kid who's playing in the sandbox with like a little spade. You have someone who's gardening with a little shovel. But then you have, this shovel that's people are using to, save their life. And again, it is sort of an extreme thing. But when you have something that's that related to your survival, it's kind of cool to sort of draw the attention away from this normal household item into something like that. So very interesting approach so far.
A soldier uses a shovel as a paddle, crossing the wide river under enemy fire.
Dude, cool shots.
If we run out of ammunition, we will use a shovel again,
Oh, snap.
and then we'll move on.
All right, savage.
And when we get the order to stop, we'll take a shovel again and build around us an impregnable fortress. This fortress is defended by the army of Ukraine.
All
Our
right.
army.
Now, I thought they were going to go a little bit deeper as far as talking about, the loss and what else the shovel could be used for. Because, again, we sort of saw with the Ministry of Defense talking about the loss, and that really helps drive the point, especially when you're talking about, like, an infantry unit or just the military in general. It gets people to understand what is really at stake when you're talking about being in a position like that. But this was a really cool one as far as having that message. But yeah, it's again, they're drawing the attention away from a normal household item into this thing that these soldiers are using for all these different tasks. Now, in the U.S. military, we don't use our e-tool, which is what we call it. We don't use it for so much, except for mainly digging foxholes every now and again. And that's basically it. Sometimes you might use it to, break up some stuff, or, you could use that as a weapon if things really get down to it. But you don't really think of that. Even when you're in the military, you don't think about what you're using that shovel for and how it actually relates to people who are in the civilian life, because again, you're just so focused on what you're doing here. You can see they're using for a bunch of different things. This dude's getting up and getting it, I guess. But yeah, it's again kind of dramatic and a little bit like I don't know, I can't really say for sure because I don't know what they're actually using their shovels for, but it's a little bit to the extreme side. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because again, when you're talking about comparing two different things, you kind of want to go to the extreme just to get people to understand the realization. But yeah, and then it shows them putting up the flag, and yeah, okay. So But I do like this approach. This was pretty cool comparing the two items. I mean, looking at the comments, we can see I never thought that shovels would make me feel so emotional. That's kind of it could be a silly comment, but at the same time, very true, because you're not comparing. There's something that you might use every day in civilian life, and you wouldn't necessarily think that there's people using that same item or a similar item, to save their life. So, yeah, I was a British infantryman for 25 years. The best weapon on the battlefield for an infantryman is a freaking shovel. Okay, again, I don't know. I've never had to use a shovel as a weapon. You definitely could, but I think that's going more to the extreme. But I think it just goes to show that infantrymen have a good appreciation for the small things. And a shovel can go a very long way. If you have a really solid shovel, it's going to do a lot of work for you. Okay, on a not a serious note, let's check out an ad for the U.S. Army. Again, hopefully it's not disrespectful playing this after all those serious videos, but try and lighten the mood a little bit.
What's up, y'all? I'm Sergeant Extreme, and I'm Major Awesome. We're here to tell you how much the Army kicks ass.
Okay, so, it's already not accurate just talking about, like, the ranks and uniforms. This is Family Guy. It's very satirical. It's just them taking an extreme for, like, you might see some pretty extreme recruitment adverts, or your recruiters might tell you some pretty crazy stuff. This is just taking it a step further, and a lot of people might think this is kind of disrespectful, especially since people who have served in the military probably went through a lot worse stuff than what we're going to see in this. But again, it's Family Guy, so it is what it is. You need to just respect that it's Family Guy.
This out. What can the U.S. Army do for you?
Let's see. I don't know about that one. Maybe in the Navy. Yeah, this dude here must have, like, officer money, because I've not seen money like that, and I'm definitely not going to see money like that. What's with the girls?
The U.S. Army. Oh, yeah. Your experience?
Yeah, right there. Your experience may differ. Yeah, yikes. I don't know. Judging from my experience in the U.S. Army, I've been in the U.S. Army for coming up on 4 years now. Yeah, definitely not the same. So let's look at these comments. Been in the infantry for 3 months. This is exactly what it's like. Can't relate. These comments are pretty much as ironic or as satirical as you would expect the recruitment advert to be. Again, it's funny. It's very much taking what recruiters will make the Army look like and taking it to the extreme, because some recruiters will really blow it out of proportion, and it kind of sucks. A lot of people join the military expecting it to be like something, and you can see their reality gets shattered very, very quickly whenever they see what it's actually like. So, again, a lot of people might think this is disrespectful, but I think people who have actually served will get a kick out of it just because they know it's not like that. And they understand that recruiters might make it seem like that as much as they can. Definitely taking a lot lighter and a funnier approach towards the end. But the recruitment adverts today we've seen are really, really solid. So the Royal Navy one, again, cool approach, seeing him going through all these changes, redirecting his life and going to something much more meaningful and much more bigger than himself. We saw the Ministry of Defense recruitment advert where they're talking about, the suffering and what their country has done for the last 75 years, or what their military has done for the last 75 years, and how they're continuing to do it and why they're going to continue to do it. So that's a really powerful message there. And then we saw the Ukrainian military advert where they have this normal household item that you wouldn't really think too much about, and then comparing it to something super serious that, this is what the military would use a shovel for all these different things. So, yeah, it kind of makes you look at something a little bit different. So it's cool. It's a cool way to open your perspective and look at things differently, especially if you're this might not be the best for recruiting people, but it might help people understand what the military goes through. So that's a cool way to do it as well. And also very appreciative for people who are in the military, just to have the general public understand a little bit better. Yeah, hopefully you guys appreciated the video. Let me know what you think regardless. If you can relate to any of these, or you think one of the messages or one of the approaches are a little bit more powerful for you specifically, let me know why. Because again, I can relate to that Ministry of Defense one a little bit better, just because I really joined to sacrifice some of my comfort for other people. Of course, people join the military for different reasons, so some of these adverts are going to click a little bit better than others. So if you guys are in the military, or you have been in the military, or you know a family member who's in the military, let me know why you joined or why they joined, and why these recruitment adverts might click a little bit better to them or yourself. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys. Thank you for sharing your experiences and your recommendations in the comment section. I do appreciate it. You guys always send some really solid stuff, and I'm blown away by some of the stuff that, it's crazy to think that there's stuff like this that you would never see otherwise. So I do appreciate you guys opening my perspective and checking out all these different military videos. So thank you again for that. Thank you for watching the video. If you guys liked it, feel free to hit the thumbs up. I'm going to continue trying to do these awesome military recruitment adverts because, again, it's kind of surprising seeing the different approaches and just seeing the different content that we see with these different adverts. So thank you again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. That is it for this one. I'll see you on the next one.